Hello and welcome to the Business Disability Forum Disability Smart Awards 2021. I'm Diane Lightfoot and I am lucky enough to be CEO of Business Disability Forum, and I'm delighted to be your co-host for one of our flagship events on the calendar. We didn't have an awards ceremony at all last year, so it's great to be back, albeit virtually. Before we get going, live captions and BSL are being provided as part of the live feed throughout the event. Please also do share your thoughts and congratulate the winners on social media. And we're using the hashtag DS Awards 2021. And the team here will share your thoughts and comments. And joining me on stage, a small change to the published programme. I was due to be joined by Samantha Renck, who, as I'm sure you are aware, is an actress, presenter, speaker, writer and disability rights campaigner. However, unfortunately, her amazing powers do not extend to mending a power cut. She's based up in Yorkshire and the weather there has caused a complete power outage, so she is unable to join us, and I know she's very fed up about that. However, we are instead joined by the equally fabulous Bella Gore, our head of legal and content here at BDF. And Bella will be my wonderful co-host as we go on. So thank you very much, Bella, for stepping into the brink. And hello, by the way.
Hello, Diane, and thank you. And I am so sorry that I am not Samantha, and it's ruined the double act you had planned, Diane. I don't know who we are.
I don't know who we are. We were going to be, you know, Morecambe and Wise, Anton Deck, or Claudia and Tess. But yeah, if you want to share thoughts in the Slido chat about which famous double act Bella and I can be, then do let us know. And it's great that there are so many of you online to join us for this celebration, because it certainly really feels like we need to celebrate after the couple of years that we've had. I'd also really like to thank our partner Microlink for sponsoring our awards and making it possible. That's very kind of you and we are very grateful. And we will be hearing a bit more from Microlink CEO Nasser Siabi, a man who I'm sure needs no introduction, a little later on. This year we have a whopping 16 awards to make. 13 Disability Smart Awards and 3 brand new Disability Confident Awards, which we are hosting with the Disability Confident team. And I'm delighted that we'll be joined by the Minister for Disabled People, Work and Health, Chloe Smith MP, a little later to present these awards. And we had a huge number of entries this year, more than ever before, with some brilliant projects and examples of best practice. So our judges had a tough, though very enjoyable job deciding who gets the honours. But we have a lot to get through, so let's get cracking.
Right, well, that's over to me. So the first award is our Disability Smart Communications Award. This award is for an organisation or a team that has created a truly inclusive and accessible communications for disabled people. It is designed to reward and showcase an organisation that has embedded accessibility and inclusivity into all their communications and their workforce, customers, clients or service users, and for or with their stakeholders, and that includes the general public. So I'm pleased to announce the finalists for this award. They are EDS, Inclusion North CIC, Signly, Total Communications, and Unilever. Now, our judges had a difficult job with this one, and so they did want to highly commend one organisation that didn't win but is highly commended, and that is Inclusion North CIC. Inclusion North CIC has created a series of easy read resources and training to open up governance and volunteering opportunities to people with learning disabilities and autistic people in the area. And they show that inclusivity would be appreciated by its users and the network. The resources were developed with people with learning disabilities and autistic people, which is really important. And many people have already benefited from the Bringing Change to the Board project and have gone on to secure governance positions locally and nationally. By making the resources freely available on their website, Inclusion North CIC is making it possible for more organisations and individuals to benefit from their work and increasing the life opportunities for disabled people. So it's a small organisation, but from the outset, they factored in inclusive design by using people with lived experience. So we would really like to congratulate Inclusion North, which is highly commended. But that leads me on to the winner of this award, our first award of the night, and that is Unilever. I'm afraid that Unilever can't be with us today. COVID-19 has interfered with plans, but they have sent us a short film instead from Evelyn Espinel, Global Vice President, Equity and Diversity and Inclusion.
Hello. Thank you so much for this award. Today is the first time Unilever is receiving this recognition. I am very honored and humbled to be here with you today. We at Unilever believe that there's so much more work to be done, and this award shows us that we're on the right path. We're committed to two goals. One, to ensure that 5% of our workforce includes people with disabilities. While we believe that this is an inadequate goal, we are going to expand our ambition. What we are working on right now is to support employees to self-report so that we're able to understand what else we need to do to create an inclusive culture. We are also committed, and I think this is probably the most important goal for us, we're committed to being the employer of choice for people with disabilities. We're doing this through an integrated framework of communications that includes leadership accountability, employee resource groups from around the world, a real focus on listening to the needs of our employees in terms of accessibility, well-being, and employee health. And lastly, through educational campaigns where we celebrate the contributions of people with disabilities to our culture. We're currently running the I Am Me campaign as part of International Day for People with Disabilities. Thank you again for this award. It truly re-energizes us, and we are very grateful for the work that you are doing to advance this agenda every day. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the event.
Well, why did Unilever win this award? And I know you always want to know that. Well, Unilever was the clear winner, our judges said. It was impactful in 5 areas of judging: innovation, scalability, inclusive design, and breaking down barriers and change making. So Unilever has put inclusion at the heart of its internal and external communications and marketing strategies, breaking down communications barriers and changing culture. So alongside members of their disability network Enable that launched, they're playing a key strategic role in strategic decision-making, helping to shape Unilever to be a more inclusive workplace. Enable now has 300 members across 36 countries, spanning across 18 functions, and it comes together on projects to provide perspective on lived experiences, creative thinking, and advice on adaptations and adjustments to remove barriers within the business. And Unilever has a substantial reach in terms of employees and customers, and they've incorporated in their scale of planning and implementation. So there was mentioned there already the I Am Me public commitment to disability inclusion. They also launched in June 2021 Unstereotype, which is an initiative to ensure that equality, diversity, and inclusion is embedded at every point of the marketing journey to root out bias and build in nudges and prompts to promote more inclusive behaviours along the way. And what they have said is that it's important that our brands live up to our values and play their part by understanding the lives, experiences, and stereotypes facing persons with disabilities and ensure that they are reflected in our brand communications. So a very worthy winner to start us off today, Diane.
Thank you, Bella, and big congratulations to Unilever. I'm now going to take us on to our next award, which is the Disability Smart Customer Service Award. This award is for an organisation which has, you guessed it, provided excellent customer service to everyone, including disabled people, and which has gone the extra mile to break down barriers experienced by disabled people despite the restrictions of the pandemic. And for this category, the finalists are Alexandra Park and Palace, National Highways, Skipton Building Society, and Unilever. And the judges had a hard job on this one too, and they also have chosen a highly commended within this category. Not all the categories have a highly commended. And their highly commended entry is Unilever. And the judges wanted to highly commend Unilever specifically for the creation of their accessible deodorant. Unilever's approach to inclusive design in this is revolutionary. We felt that the involvement that they've had from disabled individuals to ensure that their new deodorant, and some of you may have seen it at our annual conference, to ensure that it works for as wide a range of people as possible is outstanding. And by creating an inclusive designed deodorant, they've provided a level of independence which just wasn't previously there for many people. It's also a great example of how, if you design inclusively, it really does work for everyone. So we're excited to see what products they roll out next that are inclusive, hopefully eventually their whole range, which is pretty large. So congratulations again to the team at Unilever. And my privilege now is to announce our winner in this category. And our winner in this category is Skipton Building Society. And to officially receive the award, I'm delighted to welcome on screen Hannah Hall, Customer Empathy Manager at Skipton Building Society. Congratulations,
Hi everybody.
Hannah.
Thank you. I'm so excited and honoured to be collecting the award on behalf of Skipton Building Society today. It marks a real milestone for us in our work on accessibility. It's not been straightforward, but we're really proud of how far we've come. So yeah, we received amazing support from across the business on this initiative, and without it, we couldn't have kind of got the results that we did. So thank you, and well done to everybody as well.
Thank you, Hannah, and congratulations to Neil as well. I'm sorry, Neil. Neil is Customer Experience and Empathy Leader at Skipton, so it's great to see you here too. Thank you. So what did they win for? Skipton signed up to becoming communication accessible with Communication Access UK because their own internal research had showed that potentially 47% of their customers could be impacted by a disability, impairment or long-term condition. Skipton were the first financial services organisation to adopt the Communication Access UK initiative. They were also involved in the official launch in November last year and were filmed as part of a panel with Nick Hewer and the Royal College of Speech and Language Therapy's CEO. And one of their colleagues, Lucinda, features on the website talking about her own experience with communication difficulties, which has really helped to bring this to life for colleagues. Since the launch, Skipton has rolled out communications training out to all customer-facing colleagues, smashing their target and training 1,400 colleagues. They also made training available for non-customer-facing colleagues and added it to new starter requirements. If that's not enough, they also created a pocket-sized booklet for colleagues that includes some of the top tips from the training. On the back of the training, they've had over 300 pieces of feedback from colleagues about how it will help them in their day-to-day role. They said, the training has made us rethink how we educate colleagues, not just to support customers who have other circumstances that mean they might need extra support, like a life event. So, that's number 2. Over to number 3, and Bella.
Thank you, Dan. And I'm looking at the Slido here, and we've got some suggestions. French and Saunders,
Ooh.
Eric and Ernie,
Ooh.
or Mel and Sue. I
now that I like.
Yeah.
That I like.
Who's who? We can work on that.
I don't know. I've got the glasses.
It's true. So there we go. We can keep those coming. But yes, moving on to the next award. The next award is our Disability Smart Diversity and Inclusion Professional Award. Now, I remember when we did the awards a few years ago, we gave a special award to somebody for this category, and then we thought, you know what, we have a Senior Leaders Award, but we don't recognise the people on the ground who are doing such amazing work and keeping this on the agendas in organisations. So really pleased to have this award. And it is for a diversity and inclusion professional who has made an outstanding contribution to furthering disability inclusion within their organisation and beyond. And we wanted to recognise, reward and celebrate an individual who's been working, perhaps, as I said, behind the scenes, often unnoticed, to keep inclusion at the forefront of their organisation's diversity and inclusion agenda. And so I have the privilege of announcing the finalists, and they are all amazing people. The finalists are Andy Garrett and Tracy Mitchelson at GSK, Mark Russell at KPMG, Monica Yawansky-Rangelov at State Street, and Sue Mills at HMRC. This one, as you might imagine, was a difficult one to judge, and the judges have chosen a highly commended for this one as well. And the highly commended award goes to Mark Russell at KPMG. The judges felt that Mark demonstrated exceptional influencing, both internally and externally at KPMG. The level of collaboration displayed by Mark was noticeable, and his willingness to share both personal experience and organisational learning was evident. In particular, the judges noted his work internally influencing and advising recruitment teams in relation to inclusive recruitment and supporting the redesign of office space to ensure that inclusive design was fully considered. Mark's work has enabled KPMG to deliver a large-scale event for World Mental Health Day, which saw over 6,000 people attend from 78 member firms. His influence on external stakeholders does not end there, as he's an active participant on external forums, such as the Purple Space ERG Steering Group, the Disability Confident Practitioners Group, and the Institute of Technology EDI Steering Group. So congratulations, Mark, it's very well deserved. And that leads me on to the winner for this category, and the winner is Monica Yawansky-Rangelov, EMEA Head of Inclusion, Diversity and Equity at State Street. Congratulations, Monica.
Thank you very much. I am deeply honored to accept this award. The fact of being nominated already moved me, as the program's initiatives and actions I support towards disability inclusion seem to me very natural. I'd like to thank to many people, of course, because they were assisting me and supporting throughout my professional and life journey. And thank you very much to my State Street team who nominated me, of course, and yourselves as Business Disability Forum, our great partner in executing on our ideas and common initiatives. I do celebrate the award with not only joy for my lifetime efforts recognition, but I take it seriously as a challenge. It's just a beginning, but I'm not going to make any significant impact without many of you. So if each of us makes a small step by becoming disability ally, we will rock the boat. If there are hundreds of us, we will rock the whole business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica, and congratulations. And just a few words about what Monica did, because she was being modest there. The judges commended the breadth of Monica's activity, both within State Street and externally. She's driven a phenomenal amount of change since joining State Street, including developing the first ERG for employees with disabilities, establishing a D4D mentoring program, and ensuring that disability is on the agenda at the highest level. She is a true and authentic role model, sharing her story to inspire change as well, particularly in Poland, where she is raising aspirations of employment amongst disabled people, many of whom are economically inactive. And she's embedded disability training for managers at State Street and moved the bank to actively seek disabled employees. So a big, congratulations to State Street and Monica there.
Thank you, Bella. And yes, congratulations, Monica, and lovely that you could join us on screen. So next up is our Disability Smart Built Environment Award. This award is for an organisation that has created beautiful, accessible and inclusive physical environments for everyone, including disabled people. So again, we wanted to reward and showcase truly inclusive design that has gone the extra mile to break down barriers experienced by disabled people. And our finalists are Hotel Brooklyn, Network Rail, and the University of Warwick. And again, we have a highly commended because the quality of the entries was just so high. And our highly commended entry is Hotel Brooklyn. Hotel Brooklyn is a 189-room design-led hotel in Manchester that is a pioneer in accessible design, leading the way in Europe with its 18 fully accessible rooms. The first fully accessible suites in the UK, which were designed by Motion Spot so that adaptability features retain a stylish modern aesthetic. The hotel has previously won 3 Blue Badge style ticks for accessibility and the B Factor Awards 2020 Accessibility Award, as well as ranking as best of the best in the World Traveller Awards this year. So next time you're in Manchester, why not give them a look? So congratulations, Hotel Brooklyn. And that, of course, leads me on to our winner. So our winner of Disability Smart Built Environment is the University of Warwick. And to officially receive the award, I'm delighted to welcome on screen Jenny Wheeler, Estates Accessibility Officer at the university. Congratulations, Jenny.
Thank you very much. And we're absolutely delighted to win this award for the initiative. We're really proud to have added an enhanced accessible suite to our accommodation stock. And this award is great recognition of all of the work our colleagues in our estates team did in developing this provision. And this enhanced accessible suite is opening up an independent life at university for disabled students with complex needs and care requirements. We already have a student making use of this facility, and we hope that this suite will provide a home at Warwick for many disabled students to come, as well as inspiring other universities to offer similar accommodation options. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jenny. That's absolutely wonderful to hear. And just to expand on that for those of you who don't know about it, over the summer of 2020, the university adapted a suite of rooms to create accommodation for a disabled student and their carers within an existing flat that catered for complex requirements due to the student's health condition. This included specialist bathroom equipment, full room coverage hoists and bespoke electrical solutions to ensure the student's safety and provide an accessible and crucially independent living space. Unfortunately, the student was too vulnerable to attend campus in the first year and studied at home, but knowing that this room was waiting for them provided a light at the end of the tunnel of a long period of isolation. This summer, they finally got to see the room and said that they couldn't wait to move in. So this new suite has also been added to Warwick's accommodation stock, as Jenny says, so that other students in the future with similar needs will also be able to enjoy the opportunity to study at Warwick independently and safely. And I think that's brilliant. So congratulations to you. And now Bella.
Thank you, Diane. And that's such an amazing story there. I think sort of the benefits of being able to go to university. It was an incredibly long time ago for me, but I still remember it well. It was, so And actually, the next award is fitting because it goes on from learning at university to learning and development. It is the Disability Smart Learning and Development Team Award. Now, this award is for a team that has created innovative, engaging, and most of all, inclusive and accessible learning and development solutions for everyone, including disabled people. And I'm pleased to be able to announce the finalists, who are Brighter Futures Projects, Hampshire Hospitals Foundation Trust, and Microsoft. And the winner is Microsoft. So I'm really pleased here to invite to officially receive the award Soraya Scott, Chief Operating Officer for Microsoft UK, and Erica Zelmanowitz, Senior Accessibility Training Program Manager. Congratulations, Soraya and Erica.
Thank you. Thanks so much. We are incredibly delighted to accept this award on behalf of Microsoft. Erica and I are thrilled to be here today. Firstly, I'd love to thank the learners who are helping us close the disability divide. Also, the UK Department for Work and Pensions for giving us the opportunity to train 26,000 work coaches on modern accessibility tools, really assisting job seekers with disabilities. And of course, the UK Microsoft Disability Employee Resource Group and our Accessibility Learning and Development team, headed up by Erica, for the work in helping thousands of employers and over 500,000 learners. And with that, I'll hand over to Erica in case there's any final words that she'd like to add.
Thank you so much for recognizing the Microsoft Accessibility Learning and Development team. We're really honored to have been selected for our work in helping bridge the disability divide. Thank you.
Congratulations to you both and to Microsoft. So a little bit about why did Microsoft win? Well, it's as part of their commitment to close the gap in societal inclusion for the 1 billion people with disabilities globally, the Microsoft Accessibility Learning and Development team launched new training for employees, customers, and partners, focusing on disability awareness, etiquette, policy and programs, and technology to empower people with disabilities in modern work and life. The team identified gaps in the digital accessibility learning experience, and as a result, created a vast range of L&D resources aimed at building understanding and empathy. The judges were impressed by the range of resources and noted that there were even more to come, including the Accessibility Fundamentals Learning Path and the creation of a YouTube channel. The team at Microsoft have reached over 500,000 learners to date and have helped inspire other companies and government departments to adopt their own L&D initiatives, which has got to be an excellent initiative. Yeah. So well done to Microsoft and to Soraya and Erica.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations, Microsoft. Definitely paying it forward there, which is one of the things we really wanted to see. So next up is our Disability Smart Recruitment Team Award. Now, this award is for a recruitment team that has created innovative, engaging, and most of all, inclusive and accessible recruitment campaigns that have resulted in greater numbers of disabled people obtaining work or accessing a profession. And I'm delighted to announce our finalists, who are Microsoft, Mills & Reeve, Oliver James, and Tesco. And this was another one with incredibly high standard of entries, and the judges decided to award a high commendation. And so highly commended goes to Mills & Reeve. And working in collaboration with the Firms Ability Network, Mills & Reeve have shown clear positive outputs arrived at by honest reflection and review of strategy and practices over a 3-year period. They formed a steering group to include voices from all levels of the organisation, including their ability network, and that resulted in varied input and contributions that allowed them to implement a whole range of different initiatives. And the results were shown in a clear rise in disabled applicants to the firm and in colleagues sharing information on disability or long-term condition. Their dedication to encouraging diversity and inclusion in the sector was also amplified by the introduction of their first disability bursary that will be rolled out this year, and that will support a disabled person who is interested in working in law and will include a work placement in an office of their choice, financial support and a personal mentor. So big congratulations to our highly commended entry, Mills and Reeve. And now on to our winner. So our winner for the Disability Smart Recruitment Award is Oliver James. And to officially receive the award, I am delighted to welcome on screen LaMondre, Commercial Director and DE&I Leader for Asia and founder of OJ Ability. Congratulations, Loic.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Diane, and thanks to the whole Business Disability Forum team. Thank you obviously also to our amazing OJ Ability team, including our lead recruiter, Jackie Wan, who's helped tremendously in this project. Winning this award is hugely exciting for us. Launching OJ Ability, it's been a wonderful journey, but obviously trying to shift mindsets in and around disability inclusion is not without its challenges. But despite that, since our inception a few months ago, we've had the privilege of successfully recruiting and placing several professionals living with a disability into their careers of choice. We've also had the honor of accompanying some outstanding employers, thank you to them, in making their recruitment processes more inclusive. And obviously we could not have done this without the support of our expert partners, including BDF. So thank you, BDF, and well done to Tesco, Microsoft, and Mills and Reeve. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Loic. Congratulations again. And thank you for joining us from Hong Kong, where I think it has just gone 11:30 in the evening. So really appreciate you doing that and being with us. So to share a bit about what they did. So Oliver James identified the need for a different approach to raising the profile of disabled candidates. Their mission was to support the careers of those living with a disability and to highlight the untapped talent pool by upskilling their clients in becoming disability smart. They created a unique recruitment service, largely comprised of recruiters living with a disability, and have already welcomed over 10% of their clients to their talent pool of over 60 disabled candidates. We are awarding Oliver James the winner of this category because they are not only proactively representing disabled candidates, but are working in partnership with their clients to help them understand the value of a diverse workforce in a region with cultural differences in Hong Kong and Asia. So congratulations again to Loic and the team.
Indeed, a big congratulations to Loic. And as it is 11:30, you can raise a glass now of something, if you would like, on there. So this leads me on to the next award. And I'm really pleased actually to be announcing this one. This is the Disability Smart SME Award. And so this award is for a small or medium-sized enterprise, an SME, with fewer than 250 employees and an annual turnover of less than £40 million. And we were looking for a business that had really improved the life chances of disabled people. And I did read all the entries. Well, I read all the entries actually, but I remember reading the entries for this one in particular. I'm really pleased that the judges have decided on these finalists, who are Genius Within, Millwood Servicing, Open Inclusion, Patchwork Hub, Town Hall Group, and Your Local Cinema. The entries were absolutely fascinating and delightful to read in this one. So you won't be surprised to know that we have got a highly commended. And the highly commended award goes to Patchwork Hub. Patchwork Hub is an accessible employment platform connecting employers to highly skilled professionals who are seeking employment outside of the traditional 9-to-5 office job. While it's open to anyone, their mission is to patch the talent gap and enable a hidden talent pool of disabled people, carers, parents, and retirees, often excluded by the inaccessibility of current work practices, to find work and to thrive. Too many people are currently excluded from work due to barriers that conventional work practices have in place. Rather than trying to fit people back into the traditional work structures, what Patchwork Hub's aim is to create a workplace that is suited to the individual concerned, helping them to thrive. Patchwork Hub aims to be a one-stop shop connecting people to work opportunities with inclusive employers, freelancing opportunities, advice, training, and support, while also helping employers to become more inclusive and accessible, working to break down the barriers in conventional employment practice and lead a mainstream culture change in work, health, and accessibility. And I think, this has been needed like never before in the past couple of years that we have had. So a big congratulations to Patchwork Hub. But that leads me on to the winner for the SME Award. And I'm delighted to say that the winner is Millwood Servicing. And to officially receive the award, I'm delighted to welcome on screen Mariah Johnson, and Programme Coordinator and Project Manager, and Becca Harbord, Social Channel and Brand Manager. So congratulations. I said Mariah. Are you Mariah or Maria?
No, it's Maria.
Maria and Becca, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Becca and I are accepting this award on behalf of the entire Millwood and Woodmore teams. Thank you to everyone who have been involved in the Zero to Hero scheme, but especially all of our Zero to Hero apprentices, without whom none of this would have been possible. Thank you for ensuring 24 unique, exceptional and talented individuals have gained a rightful place in the employment world. Without the tremendous success of the Zero to Hero initiative at Millwood, there would be no Woodmore Foundation, which is an exceptional employability initiative which recognises the hidden skills of people with disabilities and digitally showcases them to prospective employers. So thank you all very much. Over to you, Becca.
Yeah, I'd just like to also say thank you, and just to say something again that Diane kind of said at the start about inclusive design, because the more that Millwood has kind of adapted to different needs, the better the workspace has been for everyone, and just overall it's been really great. So thank you so much for recognising what we've been doing at Millwood and Woodmore.
Thank you.
Thank you both, Maria and Becca, and congratulations to Millwood. They mentioned a little bit about what they did, but Millwood Servicing is a fire safety company, and they've been providing active and passive protection solutions for 28 years. The company has 55 staff and 40% have shared a disability. Millwood created a unique apprenticeship scheme to give fair and equal opportunity specifically for disabled and disadvantaged people. And that's that Hero to Zero scheme that Maria mentioned there. It's an apprenticeship scheme that started in 2009, enrolling individuals who have no prior knowledge or understanding of the industry, and providing them with a 4-year apprentice program with one-to-one support, nurturing, mentoring, and industry-qualified teaching to become fully trained and competent fire and electrical service engineers. And then they introduced a second scheme founded because of the success of the Zero to Hero scheme to provide work opportunities for marginalised members of society, because well, not everyone wants to be a fire safety engineer. I can't think why. I think it sounds amazing, actually, if I try and think of a second career. But they have this second scheme as well, the Woodmore Foundation, CIC, which was set up in October 2020 with disability, inclusivity and mental health and wellbeing at the forefront. They've worked with agencies who support those who are deemed to be unemployable, I say with quote marks, to get individuals back into employment to prove that they are indeed employable. And the judges chose Millwood Surfacing as the winner for the SME Award because of their exemplary initiatives that demonstrate that any company, regardless of the sector in which they operate, can do incredible things to remove barriers faced by disabled people, to access opportunities and thrive at work. So well done. Huge congratulations to Millwood Surfacing.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations. And I coincidentally was lucky enough to speak on an actual panel a month or so ago alongside Millwood's CEO, and I resisted the temptation to spill the beans. So congratulations, that's fantastic. Bella, please don't leave us and become a fire safety engineer. We need you too much. Okay, so moving on. Our next award is our Disability Smart Procurement Award. Now, this award is for a procurement team which has made significant strides in ensuring that products and services procured from suppliers and partners are accessible and inclusive for everyone who uses them, including disabled people. So we were looking for a team who has embedded accessibility and inclusion into contracts for products and or services with suppliers and partners, a team who works with suppliers and partners to help them understand what accessibility and true inclusion means. There is only one finalist for this award, which reflects the fact that procurement is the one area of our 10-strong Disability Smart framework that most organisations, I say most, find very difficult, and we will be focused on supporting them to get better in the new year with our new procurement network. However, there was one entry that really was a shining beacon of best practice, which we wanted to recognise and to celebrate. So our one finalist and our very worthy winner is British Land. And to officially receive the award, I am delighted to welcome on screen James Schuldenfrei, Procurement Manager at British Land. Congratulations, James.
Thank you very much. We're absolutely delighted to have won the BDF's Disability Smart Procurement Award, and thank you so much to the BDF for recognising our work in this area. This will give us a great platform to achieve more working with our supply chain. British Land is an organisation where people feel free to bring their whole selves to work. It defines our culture and who we are. The future of our business depends on our people and our supply chain, and we've got a responsibility to connect with them and invest to truly create diverse, equal and inclusive culture where everyone is welcome and which celebrates different experiences and perspectives. Through our involvement with the BDF, we've learned to consider access requirements at each stage of our customer journey, and our approach to procurement is critical in delivering this strategy as we work hand in hand with our development colleagues to deliver places you will prefer. On behalf of all my colleagues at British Land, I just wanted to take a moment to thank Steph and Maria, who've worked so tirelessly to help us achieve this Disability Smart Procurement Award. We hope to build on this award and continue to strive to do more to push the boundaries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, James, and congratulations to you and the team at British Land. So just to expand on the why, British Land demonstrated in their entry a clear commitment to design and to building fully inclusive developments, such as their refurbishment of their Paddington site. To be able to achieve this, selecting the right suppliers to work on these projects was critical in the successful delivery of inclusive places, right through from the design to the build phase and right through fitting out ready for occupation. They wanted to go beyond the statutory access requirements and ensure that accessibility was considered from the outset. So robust and carefully developed procurement processes ensured that only suppliers who could demonstrate a really clear commitment and good levels of disability awareness and of inclusive design would be used. And further to this, in the latter part of this year, British Land did do a full Disability Smart audit, and they scored over 90% in the procurement section of the audit. This is an exceptionally high score and clearly demonstrates that they have put in place really amazing policies and processes to ensure that disability really is at the heart of procurement exercises. So a very, very big well done. to British land. Now, we go from being a double act to a triple act. So I don't know what you want to make of that in the chat, but I am very pleased to welcome on screen our very long-standing friend and partner and sponsor of the awards, Nasser Siabi, CEO of Microlink. Hello, Nasser. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone. And thank you very much, Diane. This is another privilege, another pleasure, another year of awards, and we're used to doing this in the FCO in a glamorous foreign office, but we have to do with what we have this year, and I'm dressed up for the occasion. So thank you again for allowing us to share these amazing achievements by so many people in such wonderful companies to make the world a more exclusive and a fairer place. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, and you look very, very dapper, Nasser.
Yeah, right. I was just going to say that, Nasser. Thank you so much for dressing up.
I had to play the part. If we can't live the moment in real, we have to do it in virtual. So anyway, pleased to be just dressing at least for once in a year to make sure I still fit into my dinner jacket. I bought 3 size extra large when I bought it. I'm glad because it's just about to fit now.
That's what lockdown does for you, Nasser. Oh, does for yes. But we're very glad. You look, as Diane said, very dapper. So
well,
thank you.
I didn't buy the hat. If I did, it wouldn't fit by now. But with your description. But thank you.
Okay. It was. I think it's over to me now to announce the first award, Nasser, that you are going to announce the winner for. So this is the Disability Smart Technology Award, a subject I know that is close to your heart. So this award is for developers of technology that has really improved the life chances of disabled people. We wanted to reward and showcase technology change makers, truly inclusive design, or a developer that has gone that extra mile to break down barriers experienced by disabled people. And I'm very pleased to announce the finalists, who are Accessable, Digit Audit Technology Limited, and Signly. I think, Nasser, you've got a highly commended to announce.
The highly commended winner is Digital Audio Technology Limited.
Thank you. And as I said, I read all of them, and I'm absolutely thrilled that Digit Audio Technology is highly commended, because I loved this entry. And it's about music. Diane, I know that you're a musician. I'm just saying that out there. So
once upon a time, Bella.
But currently there is a lack of inclusive and purposeful musical provision in schools, and that creates a huge gap in opportunities for disabled young people as opposed to their peers, and means that some children and young people are deprived from realizing their talent or discovering the lifelong benefit of music. Disabled people are hugely underrepresented as a result in the music and creative industries and across the arts and cultural sectors, and in all types of roles and participation, through a lack of access to opportunities, accessible digital technologies and education right at the outset in schools. So Digit Audio Technology Limited has invented Control One. It's a smart digital DJ controller and instrument, and it's made to be played by everyone. And I have to say, I'd love to have a go. I have very little musical ability, and the recorder playing that I had doesn't really deserve to be heard by anyone anymore, but I would love to have a go on this. It's next generation hardware, it's affordable, it's clever, and it's inclusive. It's a technology that allows a player to progress from beginner to virtuoso on the same device. It's simple, familiar, yet versatile, and it can be used by a wide range of ages. For example, a 7-year-old girl who was unable to access any music-making activities at all has been using it, and a 22-year-old woman who, because of Control One, it now works as a musician and a teacher. So it really has transformed lives. And They have also developed, Digital Audio have also developed an accompanying accessible notation and teaching system, making the whole offering a unique proposition in the market. So Digital Audio Tech really have inclusion at the heart of their work. And we really liked, this is what the judges said, we really liked how they found innovative ways to include everyone in the joy of being creative. We felt that this could reach a large audience and make a huge difference to the lives of disabled individuals, as well as those from a variety of socioeconomic backgrounds. And we're excited to think about what Digital Audio Tech can do in the future and the impact they will have on people's lives. So a big congratulations to Digital Audio Technology Limited and for the highly commended. But that leads us on to our winner for the Technology Award, Nasser.
The winner, the company who's made communications fully accessible to deaf people and has removed so many barriers. All those information leaflets you get in the banks or from utilities, they've actually made them fully BSL and making sure that deaf people are not excluded. And the winner is an old colleague, a friend, and someone who worked for Microlink and now is doing even better elsewhere, Tim Scannell and Signly.
Congratulations, Signly.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. It's just wonderful to receive this award. So I am over the moon, and it's such a pleasure to have received this award. So it's such a pleasure to receive the Disability Smart Award. So I just want to say thank you so much. This award is for obviously work that we've done with Microlink, also with Microsoft as well. And personally, I would like to say thank you to Victoria Oakes. And also just extend a thanks to the deaf community across the UK as well, who obviously have just been so overwhelmed by the fact that we have been able to make so many websites accessible. So I would like to say thanks to BDF, Microsoft, Microlink, and to also say the deaf community across the UK. Also, it has been lovely to see so many websites now that have information accessible in British Sign Language rather than relying on written English. So again, I just want to say thank you so much, and we really, really appreciate the award. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, and congratulations to Signly. So why did they win? Well, they mentioned working with Microsoft. So with help from Microsoft, Signly researched the impact of the lack of BSL services on the 11 million people in the UK who are deaf or hard of hearing. And this is what they said. BSL users would always talk about having to bother somebody who is hearing that they knew for support. That's what Tim Scanlon said, the Signly ambassador that we just saw and heard from there. Signly's sign language as a service, SLAAS, translates written text online to sign language. It sounds so simple. It allows users to self-serve, view or request sign language translations on web pages. The Microsoft AI for Good program helped them scale up, and Lloyds Bank, as Nasser mentioned, became the first UK organisation to offer a BSL translated website, and we hope to see so many more after today and after this. So with only around 1,000 interpreters in the UK, Signly helps free up interpreters to focus on critical moments. And anyone who's tried to book a sign language interpreter will know that there is a shortage. So this is such a wonderful innovation because it gives BSL users equal access to the information when they need it. The judges felt that Signly have really understood the need for deaf users of websites to access information in their first language, BSL, and really have inclusion at the heart of what they do. And the judges said that they look forward to seeing more organisations, I've just said that, absolutely, more organisations use Signly in their websites and digital channels so that we can continue to support the deaf community and help that inclusion. So a big congratulations to Signly. Diane.
Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Nasser. And indeed, big congratulations to Signly. That's really fantastic to see. So next up is our Disability Smart Workplace Adjustments Award. This award is for a workplace adjustments team that has developed and implemented a workplace adjustments process that has proven to have improved the working lives of disabled people. And we had a huge number of entries for this one. And as a result of that, we have 5 finalists. And those finalists are Accenture, Bedfordshire Police, Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire Constabularies, GSK, Tesco and West Midlands Police. And Nasser, I think we have a highly commended, if you are wanting to announce that.
Indeed, and as it happens, the 2 top winners and highly commended happen to be world leading on this practice. And I wasn't involved with the judging, but I must say they've got it spot on. So the highly commended goes to Accenture.
Thank you, Nasser. Yes, congratulations to Accenture on this high commendation. So Accenture's goal is to build a culture of inclusion to ensure that people with disabilities are fully included and engaged. They launched the Adjustment Request Tool, or ART for short, to meet the needs of more than 569,000 employees, including more than 35,000 disability inclusion champions. The tool they've launched is designed as a simple, streamlined online process that provides people with clear access to adjustments that are available. During 2020, the tool was available to 75% of employees around the globe, and plans are in place to expand the rollout to 39 countries by the end of this year. This global approach to requesting adjustments had a significant impact for colleagues across the organisation, and the introduction of the tool increased, saw a 98% increase in request tickets being logged. So that's quite a big increase. So congratulations to Accenture. And Nasser, the big one.
The winner, no surprise, a man who's extremely passionate, hardworking, energetic, and he's made wonderful progress in a quest for a global inclusion. And that is our friend, colleague, and one of our expert people is Andy Garrett from GSK.
Congratulations. So for those of you who didn't know, Andy Garrett, Workplace Adjustments and Accessibility Director and founding ambassador for Purple Space. Andy.
Well, thank you so much to BDF and to Microlink. So delighted to be recognised with this award, and by the sounds of things, some other amazing candidates, you know, working hard to make organisations more accessible. We love this work at GSK, really making it easier for employees to have the confidence, the disability confidence to ask for and to receive the things that they need to thrive and to be included at work. So it's delighted to we're delighted to be involved with this program at GSK and to expand it in the coming years. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Andy, and congratulations you and to the team. So the Workplace Adjustment Service at GSK provides a one-stop, end-to-end service enabling employees to raise questions, initiate an adjustment request, secure approval, and receive the adjustments and solutions they need to do their role effectively. It's open to all employees, including new hires and complementary workers, and can provide confidential and expert advice, fast-track order items where the employee already knows what they need, or arrange a role-focused specialist, and this is non-medical and entirely confidential adjustments to identify the right solutions. The service approves adjustments centrally and manages the purchase order, delivery, installation for the end user on site or at a remote work location. And the judges particularly commended the breadth, sophistication and maturity of this approach, which is truly embedded across GSK's global offering. And that's no mean feat. And they particularly commented on the empowerment and trust inherent in the model. So employees can self-serve assistive technology adjustments with auto approval and are not required to demonstrate that they have any disability or condition in order to get support. Rather, the emphasis is on productivity and supporting everyone to thrive at GSK, as emphasised in their performance with choice funding, which is open to every employee. Adjustments, as I mentioned, are offered to all new hires in their job offer letter, and the satisfaction scores for the service are outstanding. So congratulations, GSK. Bella.
Hey, so thank you, Diane. Moving on now to the next award. It is the Disability Smart Workplace Experience Award. And this award is for an organisation that is a great place to work, and it's as simple as that. We were looking for an organisation that demonstrates that it really values the physical and mental health and well-being of all its workers, including disabled people, and which has a thoughtful, engaging and inclusive workplace practices. So I'm delighted to be able to announce the finalists, who are Auto Trader, Bristol Myers Squibb, KPMG and Mace Group. Nasser, you have highly commended again, because there was such, the quality was just so amazing. Nasser, I'm not sure we can hear you. Have you gone on mute?
I'm so sorry. I think I've actually lost my scorecard on this one. It wasn't.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's all right.
So please do that on my behalf.
I will. Delighted to do so, Nasser. The highly commended. The judges would like to highly commend Auto Trader. Auto Trader can point to a great variety of activity that demonstrates a real commitment to improving the experiences of employees. Emotional and physical well-being are considered and catered for, whilst work with outside agencies such as the National Autistic Society, and they became the first autism-friendly employer, highlights a commitment to ongoing learning and improving the workplace experience. They have a focus on those who are parents and carers, and that was particularly welcome during the pandemic, and an inclusive culture that has formed a supportive platform for storytelling and continues to aid the sharing of powerful lived experiences among colleagues. We've said that asking for support, as well as educating and informing our people on how best to support and be an ally to our disabled and neurodivergent colleagues, customers, and communities, was at the heart of what they did. The success of this supportive culture can be measured in some part by impressive data capture of 13% of colleagues who have shared that they have a disability. So congratulations to Auto Trader. Which leads us on to the winner. Nasser, I don't know if you found your scorecard, or do you want me to announce the winner?
Well, I would love you to do that as well. You've done so well with that one, because I didn't have that included in my invite. The last one.
The last one. Well, the winner is, and I am delighted to say that the winner is KPMG. And to officially receive the award, we welcome on screen Mark Russell, Diversity and Social Equality Manager at KPMG. So congratulations, Mark.
Thanks, Bella. And thank you to the BDF and to Microlink as well for sponsoring the award. I'm delighted to be able to accept this award on behalf of KPMG in the UK. As a manager in our inclusion, diversity and equity team, and as someone with a disability myself, I am extremely privileged to get to work on all of the work that we do on disability inclusion within the firm. But this award is not about my team, myself, or any one individual. It's about every one of our 16,000 plus colleagues at KPMG who throughout the pandemic have really come together and supported each other. and their communities as well. And certainly through our employee networks, both our Workability and our Be Mindful network that support our colleagues that with mental health or any types of disability or long-term conditions. And also we've seen the launch of a new cancer community and a new neurodiversity community as well over the last year as well. So really testament to those individuals that are now happy and sharing their experiences and really driving the visibility, awareness and conversation on all types of disabilities and long-term conditions. So thank you very much for the award, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mark, and congratulations. And I think what you just said there about so many people sharing is a testament to the culture within KPMG, that people feel able to do that and to celebrate disability, which is what this event today is all about, because lots of lip service has been paid to the pandemic providing an opportunity for change, but KPMG really embraced that, grasped the opportunity, and they've got clear, long-ranging outcomes to show for it. Their care for staff wellbeing is highlighted in their decision to focus on wellbeing resources in all their communications and continually checking in with disabled colleagues, and also creating a COVID special leave code, which colleagues could use if they were unable to work due to parental or caring responsibilities, with no impact on their pay or benefits. There's also been a focus on intersectionality at KPMG, whilst their Make a Difference by Sharing Your Difference campaign that Mark talked about there, and performance manager training rounds out an excellent all-round package of activity. And the icing on the cake is the transparency of disability pay gap reporting and plans to address this. So a very worthy winner. So a big congratulations to Mark and the whole team at KPMG.
Congratulations indeed. Congratulations to KPMG and Mark and all our winners and highly commended and finalists so far. It's now time for us to have a short break. So we will be back at 4:25 in just under 20 minutes time, where we will have a panel Q&A, then the next section of our awards. So see you back then. Welcome back. Hope you have enjoyed some refreshment, possibly of the caffeinated variety, or depending where you are in the world, something a little stronger. The next part of our awards ceremony brings you something slightly different, which is a very small panel, small but mighty panel, and Q&A. And again, I'd hope to be joined by Sam Renck, but I am ably and abetted and assisted by my colleague, Bella, and I am delighted to be joined also by Jules Lockett, who is Practice Learning Manager, Control Services for the London Ambulance Service NHS Trust. And you may have seen Jules speak at previous events for us, and if so, you will know that you are in for a treat. So before we get on to the questions, Jules, can I ask you to introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, Diane. Yeah, absolute honour to be here and obviously supporting the Disability Smart Awards and everything that you do. My role is to support and to guide and to make sure that everything that happens in a control services background for the London Ambulance Service, so everything that comes through a 999 telephone call is looked after, supported and delivered on from a service point of view. So very privileged to do the job I do and very privileged to be with you this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Jules, and we are privileged to have you, and we're very glad that demands of the service didn't call you away at the last minute, particularly with everything going on. So we are going to be having a bit of a chat about reflections of the past 21 months, and it won't take a genius to work out those are COVID times. I've got a few pre-prepared questions to ask Jules and to ask Bella, but if anyone in the audience has questions too, then please pop them in the Slido, and my colleague Adam will share those with us a little later on. So Jules, I mean, you work at the very, very heart of an organisation that has itself been at the heart of the pandemic. So how has it been for you literally on the front line in the NHS. And how has 2021 differed? Has it differed from 2020?
I think it literally has. To quote a football phrase, it's been a game of two halves, most definitely. The very first year that we experienced what was happening globally, not just in London, but globally, and all of a sudden it sort of dawned on London and the UK what was happening. It kind of was almost it was unprecedented. It was, you know, the streets were clear of people, the roads were almost a delight to drive on if it wasn't for the sadness and everything that was happening behind the scenes. And across the NHS, you know, we experienced a lot of pressures, a lot of demands, a lot of heightened people's state of concern, of worry. And I think that first probably sort of 10 to 12 months, you know, our call volumes increased, the demands and the pressures on us increased at a rapid pace. The thing that I think I reflected on was that for us working in the ambulance service and then the NHS, almost life carried on. We didn't really have an appreciation of what people were going through. As much as we were seeing that when we were going into people's homes and houses and looking after them and speaking to them on the phone, for us, we were getting up for work, we were coming into work, we were travelling to work, and for us, as colleagues, it didn't feel that there was a pandemic apart from it being so busy until you sort of looked out on the streets. I recall in the very first weeks of COVID being announced, I was staying just opposite our headquarters in the Waterloo area. And I remember stepping out from our offices building, going to rest for a few hours, and there was nothing. It was eerily silent. It was almost like being in a movie in some of those moments. And I stayed in a place where there was just three people, me and two other people from the NHS. And I remember at one point, and I've reflected with you, Diane and Bella, it felt like that we wasn't going to be able to help everybody. We felt like we were the only people working, and predominantly that wasn't the case. A lot of people were working from home and elsewhere, but it felt that we were the only people that were going about our everyday business. And actually, how on earth could we help everybody? How could we save everybody? And that was quite a lot of pressure for a lot of colleagues around the organisation who are younger generation, and also have their own concerns as well. And I think then as we've moved into this latter part, these last 10 months or so, it's almost felt that there's been some kind of routine with everything. People have got much more used to working from home or working alternatively. And now we're kind of seeing something very different, where we're seeing people becoming quite unwell because they haven't been able to get the treatment in that first half, in that first year. And that's people with ongoing conditions who live with their condition, but have had either delayed treatment or not had treatment or not been seen. And we're seeing some of the effects of that, and people having difficulties getting, if you like, community care, so that primary care through GPs and through nursing, which you would normally get locally. So we're seeing a different shift now in the NHS of what we dealt with as a real here and now issue to what we've then dealt with people with prolonged conditions and how we can best get those care now. And now obviously we're just having a step into a little bit more of the unknown, with another variant becoming obviously prominent in the last few days, which again, we don't know how that's going to be treated with a vaccination point of view, with an additional booster. But actually it's just about obviously, you know, following those good guidelines for us and to encourage people to look after themselves, more importantly at these times, and especially as we're coming into a festive period where naturally the thing that we all want to do is see our loved ones.
Yes, indeed. And I think somebody referred to the Corona coaster of what we were kind of going through. And every time you think it's come towards the end of its ride, it says, no, I'm taking you up again, and down we go. So I think we'll pick up some more of that in a moment. But Bella, I know that you've been speaking to some of our other NHS partners and members, obviously Jules, but also Alison Carmichael from NHS Scotland in particular. What have you been hearing from them?
Yes, very similar to what you've been saying, Jules, and a real worry about staff, people being exhausted, having worked solidly all the way through 2020, like you're saying. And I think Alison's memorable phrase was, we haven't got enough people, we can't knit them. And it was it takes a long time to train medical professionals, people who work in the NHS, and a real fear that there aren't the people available to support the members of the public, the support that's needed. And what you're saying, what Alison was saying, what you're saying, Jules, really resonates with me. 2020 had a kind of a novelty factor almost, which sounds awful, but it was this, what is going on? And then 2020 came along, as you say, oh yes, we've got more of the same. And I really, what you're saying really resonates with me personally, Jules, with people I know personally, people I've known through work and personally who didn't get treatment and have sadly died as a result, or sooner than they would have done, not just from COVID, but from other things. So it's been a bit sideswiping these past few months, I think.
Definitely. And I love that expression that you can't knit people. And I'm wondering how many people have been moved or inspired, such an overused word, but inspired by the amazing work of the NHS to actually shift career. And I say this, I mentioned this to Jules when we were planning this. I had cause to call out the ambulance service this year, and they were amazing. And I got chatting to the crew, because they ended up being there quite a while, nothing terrible, just basically chasing stuff up. And he was brand new, I think it was his second week, and he said that he had just changed career, and that before COVID he was an event manager, and he got furloughed, and he decided he wanted to do something, in his words, that really mattered and that was meaningful. So there he was on week 2 during COVID, as a brand new member of the crew. So that was nice. Is that something you're nodding, Jules? Is that something you're seeing? Are people joining you?
Yeah, so I suppose in reflection, we've probably had some benefit through some people's loss of careers. They've actually found a bit of a renewed energy to come and join the NHS. So we've seen a whole range of people. In the very early days, we had a lot of people from the airline trade, who, if you imagine from a 999 call handling point of view, very used to customer services, very used to triaging somebody through a process, and being very supportive and assisting somebody. So we saw a huge influx in people come and join us, first of all in a temporary basis, because obviously they didn't know what was happening in their industry. But then we have seen a real shift of people that have said, actually, there's some uncertainty in their career, in the longevity of what might be travel, as we now know. Again, goes on that Corona roller coaster again. But it is about looking at people's skill set, and actually there's a lot of transferable skills. But I can reflect on what Bella's saying with your colleague in Scotland. We say that we need to knit more ambulances. So that they're trying to knit more people in the NHS as in professionals, but we actually need to sometimes knit more ambulances to get people in them, to get them to the hospitals. But yeah, we've got some great partnerships going with people like St John Ambulance, with the Metropolitan Police, with London Fire Brigade. We're seeing a huge collaboration, and that piece of work which actually has allowed people to get some more awareness of what we do, and vice versa. It's great for understanding and collaboration. But we have seen a huge shift of people coming to join us from different backgrounds, and that only adds to our culture improving, and our awareness of other roles and other people's skills to bring into this particular role. Most definitely, it's been very welcomed, the additional support as well.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. That is good to hear. And if anyone knows how to knit ambulances or ambulance crew and has a pattern, please get in touch.
Please do.
So obviously one of the serious impacts of the pandemic on everyone and in every sector has been on mental health. And I've been hearing the words burnout and exhaustion more this year than last, I think. So as you say, Bella, you know, there was that kind of novelty factor. I remember in the first lockdown, you could almost cross the road without looking, though definitely don't do that, it's dangerous. But it was so quiet and the weather was lovely and it was all this kind of strange thing. But it hasn't been like that this year. So is that thing around burnout, is that something that members and partners have been saying to you as well?
Yeah, we've been hearing it a lot, Diane. It's coming up as a phrase, and it's not just the frontline workers. We've heard a lot, and you know, NHS, supermarket, refuse collectors, people who've been working as normal, as you said, Jules, but also people who've been working in back office functions and tech workers, for example, who were responsible for getting so many of us working from home really quickly on a sixpence, happened and kept everything going. And we've got a mental health and tech event coming up next year that we're planning, but we're hearing a lot of tech workers are just exhausted. And there's been that element of, if I can just keep going, at the moment I'm hearing, I can just keep going, it's Christmas, and then I can have a break, and then I can have a rest. If I just keep going, it will get better. But I am hearing quite a lot of that burnout and exhaustion. On the positive side, though, I'm also hearing a lot of employers doing more to support, recognizing this and doing more to support their employees with these feelings. And I know that's something you're a big advocate of as well, Jules.
Yeah, I absolutely echo what you're saying. I think mental health or people's well-being has been hugely impacted, even from anybody who has previously worked from home. The fact that there's not that contact, the fact that you may have met up for coffee, may have met up for lunch once a week or every weekend, that has been completely stripped away from people's social calendar. And I think we sometimes forget that that's so critically important to keep us well, that engagement. Naturally, we want company. And sometimes company, I mean, this is great to still be able to reach out and still be able to do the award ceremony that you do. But actually, we do miss that companionship. We miss being in a space with each other, accepting that it may be socially distant, but actually physically seeing each other. As I say, there's a part of that that's not been appreciated probably by some of the frontline workers and key workers, because we've continued to go to work. We've continued to have interaction and be in a work environment, which is our bubble. But then what happens when you have that usual social aspect where once a month you have your social with your team, and that's not there. So you've gone, exactly as you say, you've gone from 1 month to 1 month. If I can get to Christmas, if I can get past my birthday, if I can get past this time. And I think that's really impacted on people. We've seen what we would class as compassion fatigue, where you can recognise where people are almost being very robotic. You go through a process and sometimes that compassion might lack slightly. And for us, it's very key to recognise that with staff, to get them to take that stop, to get them to check in with them, make sure they're okay. Is it because home life? Is it because everyone's living at home? And if they're on night shifts, for example, everyone's working at home during a night, when actually that night is the day and that person's trying to sleep. So we've seen a various different sort of impacts where normally somebody goes home to sleep, predominantly the family would be out to work or to school. So you get a bit of protected time to rest, whereas life might be carrying on as normal inside a house with maybe 1 or 2 other people working. So there's been a lot of knock on. We've seen absenteeism in the organisation, purely because of either isolation or because of family orientated pressures, and equally, with children going back to school or younger people back into society, again, we're seeing another sort of period of absenteeism where people are trying to get integrated back into society, but picking up a bug or their children are picking up, COVID. So it's having that bit of we're sort of still going up and down again. And it is about how do we look after people? What do we offer back to them? And we're very fortunate that we've got a lot of internal networks that are available to us through the NHS as well as a national, but also with things like Blue Light Together through Mind and the Royal Foundation, which has recently been rejuvenated with a lot of resources and availability for predominantly for NHS and frontline workers in the emergency services, which is looking about how do you see so much, death, dying, and sometimes real frustration in not being able to help people. How do you cope with that? How do you then go home and not have the social aspect to be able to talk that through with a colleague? So we're seeing a lot of that, and I spend a lot of time with colleagues, sometimes just pulling up a chair and talking to them, just to let them know that what they're doing is right, and what they have done has been right. And actually, when they go home, to be humble for what they do, but also to reflect on the fact that they've made a difference. If they wasn't here to answer that 999 call, then they wouldn't have been able to have tried to have made a difference. And that's that reassurance thing that I think across a lot of key workers and frontline workers has probably been felt far and wide. And I think that will probably have some impact probably for some years to come as well, and when it actually starts to sink in and people reflect on what they've gone through.
Yes, indeed. And we have a mental health toolkit, which our lovely partner Anglo American sponsors for us. And one of the things that we've created this year to go in it is a new resource on post-traumatic stress disorder, directly as a result of the pandemic, which is increasingly coming up. And I think, sadly, I think you are right, Jules, that we are going to see this impact for a long time. And obviously the effects of your intervention not working or not working as well as it might do is much greater than it is for many industries. But I think for all of us, just the stress and the uncertainty over such a sustained period is really taking its toll. On a lighter note, you said let's get through to birthdays. I've had 2 lockdown birthdays. I am praying not to have another one, but we will see. We will see. So moving slightly more positively on, I think you sort of touched on this a bit, Jules, already. One of the positives has been increased collaboration and partnership and different ways of working. So what has that looked like for you?
So that's, and this has been no secret across a lot of our social media sites. We've been promoting the work that we've been doing with the Metropolitan Police and the Fire Brigade, because some element of their work will have shifted slightly. So their requirement for what they would have been needed for would have moved slightly. So we've done a lot of collaboration with either people that have recently left the Fire Brigade or the Metropolitan Police, but can still drive a blue light response. And they've been drivers for a lot of our paramedics, which again gives some kind of respite to one element of the role that person's doing from the LAS point of view. But also it's allowed those people that may have some capability within current serving firefighters and obviously with the police service, is it allows them to actually have a greater working collaboration and also an understanding. So now we understand each other much better than we've ever worked collaboratively. But what it's done is obviously give some new skills to people. So we know a little bit more about what the police do behind the scenes, because we've had those different conversations in the vehicle of sitting there in the front of an ambulance, traveling to and from. You actually have those conversations. Oh, I didn't realize that that's what you do. They've got some more skills. We've got some more skills. That will only allow us to grow much stronger as an organisation, and that collaboration. The work of St John Ambulance has been absolutely incredible across the UK. That is, without St John Ambulance for the NHS through the vaccination programme, and also supporting ambulance trusts, and that's far and wide across all the UK ambulance trusts. We owe a debt to those, and of course what we also have to remember is a lot of them still work for us as well. So not only have they worked, they've also then volunteered as well in a various different format. But I think for us, as we've looked forward, our wider awareness now of other engaging stakeholders that we can utilise, and that actually they understand our organisation, and actually a lot of the behind the scenes, as you say, who knew that the ambulance service would have had such a large technical team that is behind it to be able to support it, such a large human resources department that actually is looking after the welfare of staff. And it's only then when you're in these situations that you stop and you think, actually, I didn't realise that there's such a big part that those people play in an organisation. So I think there's been a real appreciation I think there's some great partnership working and great avenues that have been opened for us to explore and actually work much closer. And all that will ever do is provide better care for patients and a better service through the NHS. And we have to look at how we can constantly improve that, not only for our staff to feel that they're actually offering the right care, but for our patients to benefit from that as well. So I think it's very exciting, as much as it's very hard, it's a lot of hard work at the moment. I think the future is very exciting for that wider collaboration that's now been forced over the last sort of 21 months or so.
It's so interesting you say that, because Alison at NHS Scotland, she said in our Scotland conference that we had that they had HR people working in hospitals in Scotland, doing portering jobs, doing things, seeing things they'd never expected to do, that they weren't very well trained for, rapidly trained to do, and getting a real understanding of what happens in the hospitals. And yeah, it's been quite an interesting time, and collaboration I think is really important, and probably the way forward. If there's any good to come out of this, that might hopefully be one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I also think that anybody who is watching or listening to this probably all wants to go and work for Jules. I'm very squeamish, otherwise I definitely would, but it would clearly be such a privilege to work with you. Adam, are there any questions in the Slido?
Good afternoon, everyone. I can see we have one question here which asks, such an informative conversation, thank you. Do you think the changes implemented during this period are permanent?
Oh, okay. Jules?
Interesting one. I think there's some elements which I think will be positive out of that. I think some of the sort of, for me, and I know Diana, Bella and I have talked about this, but you know, the mask wearing, the face coverings that actually offer a lot of protection for people, especially of those who are vulnerable in our communities. I think that that's not a bad thing to remain for a little bit longer. I think it offers protection from a number of different viruses, not just through COVID, but I don't see that being a negative. Where people can wear them, I hope and wish that they do, because I think that will only help all of us in the long run. For me, the only time I'm not wearing a mask is if I'm driving in the vehicle on my own, or if I'm working in an office space on my own. Apart from that, we will be wearing them. And again, that's about leading by example. Do I see some of the assistance with our primary care partners? I think some people who have difficulty getting into GPs appointments, or have a difficulty travelling and commuting, I think the opportunity now for them to have video conferencing and appointments that way, and care and treatment that might be a little bit more appropriate that way, I think that's a huge opportunity for us to do that. Why would we want to take somebody to hospital and then have potentially a 6 or 7 hour journey all around, when actually a GP or a nurse practitioner could do something over a video call with a family member or a neighbour that's available on hand to support them, and actually get the right appropriate care. When I think about, I needed antibiotics during one of the lockdowns, I spoke to my GP. The next thing I knew, I walked into my pharmacy and there was my antibiotics. So that element of care could actually improve some element of our social system from a point of view of making sure our primary care is there. So I think there's some huge benefits, and it is about looking forward and taking the positives of what we've all experienced, and actually knowing now what does and doesn't work. But unfortunately, it's all been a bit enforced on us rather than in a slow, let's try it out. We've had to try things out in haste. Some things have worked, some things haven't. And I think the things that have worked out, we need to explore and we need to take forward and improve that element of care that we can for patients, and continually improve it.
Definitely. And what's that expression? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yes.
A couple of comments and question in Slido. So there's a comment: I agree with Jules at the potential positive outcomes from COVID. Collaboration is so important, and there is so much we can do if lessons are learned. Absolutely. And this might be one for Bella. A question: do you think that employers now value home working and the benefits of great technology?
Yes, I think they do. I mean, I hope they do, and a lot of them certainly do. a lot of employers who were saying it's not possible, people can't work from home, our security systems don't permit it, it won't work, have been proved wrong. And a lot have accepted that they were proved wrong, and that it can work. Yeah. I think, Jules, as you were sort of saying, people do miss social interaction. Now, I'm a bad person to ask because I have been working from home since 2008. And so when this came along, I was like, well, what's the problem? Why is everybody working from home? That's not a problem. But for a lot of people, I think hybrid working is, that's what all the research is showing, is what most people want. Yeah. They want to come into the office 2 or 3 days a week, but they want to work from home the rest of the time. Nobody loves the commute. I've not seen any research that says that anybody likes being on a very crowded train, standing up or stuck in a traffic jam. But people do miss other people. People miss people who knew, and on there. So I think employers have recognised that it is possible to work from home, but we're coming to that understanding between employees and employers that it's a bit of both. And some people love working from home all the time. Some people want to be in the office all the time. Most people want to do a bit of both. But there's no point coming into an office if all you're going to do is be on a Teams or a Zoom call with colleagues who are not in the office. So you're just on your own, but in a different location. So I think there's going to be some issues of working it out, but it's always been a reasonable adjustment to work from home if it's reasonably possible. And I think it's become a lot more reasonable since the pandemic.
Yeah, definitely. One more for the chat, and then I will ask you each for your final thoughts. So this is probably one for Jules. Project Search spoke at a BDF event about supported internships in the NHS for young people with learning disabilities. Do you think there is more scope for such opportunities?
Absolutely. We're constantly looking at opportunities for people to join us. And I think that only enhances your workforce. We certainly have a wide variety. Working in our control rooms, I can speak firsthand, we have a wide variety of people, and we're constantly looking at reasonable adjustments for people to come and work with us. And actually, even if the role that they've desired to come into the organisation doesn't work out for them, there will be an avenue. You know, the ambulance service, certainly for London Ambulance Service, we're not just 999 and send an ambulance. We have a whole range and of raft of jobs. So, we're constantly looking for people with different skill sets and with different abilities to come and join us and fulfil a lot of the roles that we have. And we constantly go out to various different recruitment fairs, and we want to enhance our workforce with a whole range of people that have so many different things to bring to us. And anything is possible. In London Ambulance Service, anyone who has any skill whatsoever will be of use to us. So from my point of view, if anybody is looking to inquire about the job, feel free, Diane and Bella, Adam, to share my details with anyone that wishes, and I can direct them into our recruitment team, because we're always looking for opportunities. We're looking at apprenticeships. We have in-house apprenticeships, but we also want to welcome people in, and actually we want to make sure that we represent a diverse workforce that we're actually treating in patient form as well, and that can only improve us as an organisation.
I suspect if we give out your details, Jules, on the back of this, your inbox will crash. But thank you. And there is a real call to arms there that your ambulance service needs you. So we're just about out of time for the panel. So I'll come to each of you. It was a kind of a final hope or call to action for 2022. So Bella first.
I think it's be kind. It is just for everyone, just to try to see it from the other person's point of view. And I think, Jules, you've been talking about that so much, about learning how other people work, think, and, try and see it from somebody else's point of view. Be kind at work and outside as well.
Yes, definitely. Kindness is an underrated virtue, hopefully becoming more popular again. Jules.
Thank you. I think for me, as it's similar along lines to what Bella's saying, I'm always going to remind people to wear a mask where it's practically possible. Make sure you've got your vaccinations and boosters where you practically can, and you look after yourself. But actually it is also about looking after ourselves as individuals. We sometimes are so worried about other people and what we want to do and accommodate for other people that often, and I'm guilty of it myself, and my team fortunately remind me that actually it's really important that we have a break, we stop, we take time to reflect on what's happening around us. Even if it is just to soak it up and appreciate it, but actually to recognise it, take some time out for ourselves. And actually then it allows us to come back much stronger and much more rejuvenated. And I think that's my call to arms, as much as be kind, as Bella's saying, is look after yourselves and where you can protect yourself, because we're all in this for the long haul.
Thank you, Jules. And you also said in the London ambulance everything is possible, so we should definitely listen to your words of advice. Thank you so much, Jules, for joining us, and thank you so much, Bella, for stepping in. That was a great discussion, and I certainly learned some things there, and it's great to hear about some of the positives and some of the collaboration. So yes, so watch out while the ambulance service recruitment site crashes. But thank you both very much indeed. Now it's time for the next part of our awards. And as part of this year's Disability Smart Awards, we were delighted to work with the DWP Disability Confident team to incorporate 3 new specific Disability Confident Awards, recognising those employers that have underlined their commitment to the scheme. And I'd particularly like to thank Amanda Wadsworth and Julianne Williams from the Disability Confident team for working with us on this. And I'm even more delighted to welcome the Minister for Disabled People, Work and Health, Chloe Smith MP, to say a few words and join me to present these awards. Welcome, Minister.
Thank you very much, Diane, and it's fantastic to see you and everybody. I'm really, really pleased to join the Business Disability Forum's Smart Award ceremony with you this afternoon. So first of all, an enormous thank you to Diane and the team for all that you've done, and in particular for agreeing to incorporate 3 Disability Confident Awards into this year's ceremony. I think this gives us a fantastic opportunity to celebrate the best practice activities of our disability confident employers, lets us congratulate them for their hard work and their dedication and their passion in support of disability employment. So we've got 3 Disability Confident Award categories. Disability Confident COVID-19 Innovation Award, Disability Confident Impact Award, and the Disability Confident Mental Health and Wellbeing Award. The standard of the nominations for each category has been outstanding, and I know from the judges how hard it was to select the winners and those that need to be commended. So I'd like to take the opportunity up front, of course, to say thank you to all of the employers who sent in a nomination, and to thank everybody more widely who's been part of the Disability Confidence Scheme. It's a scheme that's very close to my heart, one that I know is very important to Diane and many people here today as well. And it's something that we will be taking forward with passion into the next year to come. So we intend to promote the nominations that we've had for these awards as best practice case studies in our Disability Confident newsletters and via our social media channels. With no further ado, Diane, if you could announce the finalists and the commended.
I will do. So first is the Disability Confident COVID-19 Innovation Award. And this award is for a disability confident employer that can demonstrate that they have actively supported their disabled employees throughout the pandemic period. This could include making appropriate workplace adjustments that have enabled staff to work remotely or in a blended way, supporting them to deliver their work effectively. And the finalists for this category are HSBC, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, KPMG, Shell, University Hospitals Birmingham, and NHS FT. And I'm very pleased to announce that highly commended is John Chambers from HM Revenue and Customs. So big congratulations to you, John. And Minister.
I'm absolutely delighted to announce that the winner of the Disability Confident COVID-19 Innovation Award is KPMG. A big congratulations to KPMG, and I'll say a few words explaining why the decision came to this. KPMG saw the uniquely challenging situation that the pandemic presented as a chance to ensure that their work on disability inclusion remained a priority. In March 2020, due to COVID, they pivoted towards remote working, and through the last 18 months have conducted frequent employee surveys to understand how colleagues are feeling, how they're being affected, and what support they need. Following feedback from disabled colleagues, KPMG has introduced a more balanced approach to where and how people work, with options for everybody. Colleagues are encouraged to come together to virtually support each other and their communities, and this has been visible within the disability and mental health networks. KPMG connects with their members through regular lunchtime chats and events, including their gym, yoga, and even a special virtual visit from Mr. Motivator, I hear. Wellbeing resources are at the heart of all their communications, and these are accessible through virtual platforms such as their Employees Assistance Programme and a confidential telephone service available 24/7. They've issued guidance to colleagues and managers on a range of topics. They've also created 2 new communities within the Workability Network, the Cancer Community and Neurodiversity Community, to provide safe spaces, inspiring events and peer support. And they've also developed a targeted learning module in collaboration with the Business Disability Forum to upskill their performance managers when supporting disabled employees. They've redesigned their office space, internal facilities and space management teams to ensure that it's accessible and inclusive. And they're also designing a concierge app to support hybrid working. Their recruitment and onboarding pivoted to virtual delivery, and they continued their relationship with Auticon, hiring 6 consultants with an autistic spectrum disorder. And finally, the innovation and learning that KPMG has made as an organisation during COVID-19 is intended to benefit everybody as they continue to want to work in a more agile, accessible and empathetic way. Many congratulations to KPMG, and thank you, Mark.
And to officially receive the award, welcome back Mark Russell, Diversity and Social Equality Manager at KPMG. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Diane, and thank you, Chloe, as well, and to the DWP for supporting and helping us, I guess, to promote some of the work that we've done around disability inclusion over the years. And again, this award wasn't really about one thing that we've done or one person or one team. It was really for that organisational approach. And I think Bella and Jules summed it up really well. And it's really because I think people at KPMG cared about each other, showed that kindness, and really led with empathy. So I think, again, testament to everyone at KPMG, but delighted to receive this award. So thank you.
Congratulations, Mark. And Mr. Motivator, Derek. Now that's a blast from the past. It's great to hear that. So thank you ever so much, Mark, and congratulations to all involved. So next up is the Disability Confident Impact Award. And this award is for an organisation that can demonstrate that they have actively progressed through the different levels of the Disability Confidence Scheme, and which can also demonstrate that there has been a positive impact on the organisation in terms of disability employment and other opportunities such as apprenticeships, internships and work experience. So the team were looking for an organisation which is actively supporting the Disability Confidence Scheme more widely to other employers, suppliers and stakeholders. And the finalists are Aquarius Hair Design, Do It Solutions, Norton Rose Fulbright, Wellbeing Link and West Midlands Police. And we do have a highly commended in this category, which I'm very pleased to announce is Do It Solutions. Congratulations. A Minister.
Many congratulations to Do It Solutions, and a great company name that you've got there as well, giving us a smile as we say it. I'm delighted to go on and announce that the winner of the Disability Confident Impact Award is the West Midlands Police Force. Many congratulations to you, and I'll just say a few words to explain how we got to it. Being a disability confident leader organisation has significantly impacted on the cultural environment in this police force. The examples of the positive and inclusive changes they've made include an improved offer around reasonable adjustments, putting in place an adjustment passport for all staff, appointing a full-time reasonable adjustment officer with a centralised budget and overall responsibility for the whole of the force. This role has helped ensure that adjustments are put in place in a timely way, with nearly 82% of those receiving adjustments saying that they were satisfied with the service. They're working with a local college, inviting disabled interns to join them for a year's work experience, with some going on to full-time employment in the force through this scheme. They've supported and mentored many organisations like suppliers, stakeholders and other police forces to start their disability confident journey, and that work has led to West Midlands Police being recognised in the top 50 Inclusive Company Awards. By demonstrating that health and well-being is a top priority, the force has increased their colleagues' confidence to speak up and share information about disabilities and health conditions, with over 10% of their workforce making them aware that they have a disability. Disability confidence has had a positive impact on the behaviour of colleagues and supervisors alike, and disability is now intertwined into all they do, seen as an enabler to creativity and unique talents. They actively encourage safe spaces where colleagues are able to come together to have an open and honest conversation, letting staff explore any misunderstandings they may have and listening to feedback about how to further improve. They've designed a new training package that covers the areas that colleagues with disability feel are most important to them. They've introduced new autism and neurodiversity and dyslexia support groups, which are flourishing and have brought down barriers. Over the last 4 years, the force has seen many positive changes with regards to disability, and it's many congratulations once again to West Midlands Police Force.
Thank you. And to officially receive the award, I am delighted to welcome onto the screen Michael Braycotton, Associate Staff Volunteer, Enable Disability and Carers Committee at West Midlands Police. Congratulations, Mick.
Thank you very much, Diana. Thank you very much, Minister. It's delighted to accept the award on behalf of West Midlands Police. Hopefully this will drive our work further forward for both the police service and our communities which we serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mick, and lovely to see you again at our
Indeed.
awards ceremonies. So then, on to our final Disability Confident Award. This is the Disability Confident Mental Health and Wellbeing in the Workplace Award. And we've just heard from our panel and from Jules how important that is. So this award is for a disability confident employer that can demonstrate that they have placed mental health and well-being at the heart of their organisation, and who can demonstrate that they are raising awareness of mental health and well-being across their organisation, and that they've put in place appropriate help and support for their employees. And our finalists are Anglo-American, CBRE, GSK, Horizon Vehicle Management, University Hospitals Birmingham NHS. And our highly commended is GSK. Big congratulations to GSK for all that you are doing on this such important topic. And Minister.
Thank you very much indeed, Diane. And I'm absolutely delighted to announce that the winner of the Disability Confident Mental Health and Wellbeing Award is Anglo-American. Many congratulations to Anglo-American, and here's why they're the winners for this. It's clear that they're integrating diversity and inclusion into the way that Anglo-American operates is a critical part of their purpose, which is to improve people's lives and ensure that their staff can thrive at work. And as part of taking a firm stance to improve the physical and psychological safety of their colleagues, they've embedded mental wellness across their strategic agendas, their company values, their behaviours and code of conduct. The last year has been challenging, but throughout this time, Anglo-American has stepped up its diversity and inclusion commitments, with the physical and psychological safety being their main focus. They are driven to find innovative ways of delivering mental wellness interventions that will make a real difference and set an industry standard. As part of their mental health offer, they've trained 5% of all their employees to become accredited mental health first aiders, offered a comprehensive package of support, including an employee assistance program, e-learning modules, medical insurance, line manager and HR training. They've also raised awareness through regular events, campaigns, discussion spaces, and through their senior leadership sponsor, who's helped to break down stigma. They've increased support for colleagues in response to the pandemic, including dedicated mental wellness support, such as increasing the number of emergency days and family care provision. They've delivered Stand Up for Everyone campaigns, which tackle bullying, harassment, sexual harassment and victimisation, and domestic violence. They've partnered with external experts and organisations, developing zero tolerance policies and delivering training for every colleague to build awareness and provide support to eliminate behaviours that exclude colleagues and prevent them from reaching their full potential. And finally, according to their 2021 Global Pulse survey, 86% of their colleagues are aware of their wellbeing resources, with 79% feeling that they care about their physical and mental well-being. And these positive results are helping to build a more inclusive workplace as they look to launch their global disability strategy in early 2022. Many congratulations, Anglo-American.
Thank you very much, Minister. And to officially receive the award, I am delighted to welcome onto the screen Liz Douglas, Group Head of HR, Corporate Functions and Inclusion and Disability at Anglo-American. Congratulations, Liz.
Thanks, Diane, and thanks, Minister. It's great to accept this award on behalf of Anglo-American. As a business, we are really committed to continuing to raise awareness around mental health and wellbeing, and also to make sure we provide that accessible and wide-ranging end-to-end support, and most importantly for us to ensure that we have that ongoing conversation around it's okay to not be okay. Burnout, exhaustion, low resilience, PTSD, all of the feelings that we've just been speaking about relating to the pandemic are things we are actively talking about within the organisation and providing support. I would like to say a massive thank you to the amazing I&D team who I have the privilege of working with every day, who've really driven this work, and alongside our colleague networks and our leaders. And also thanks to BDF and DWP Disability Confidence for the recognition of the work that we do and also your leadership. So thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Liz, and congratulations again. And that brings us to the end of our Disability Confident Awards. So my huge thanks to the Minister for joining us today. Much appreciated. Thank you for all the work you do, and thank you to the team as well, who've been a pleasure to work with. Next up is something particularly special. And this is the Disability Smart Lifetime Achievement Award. This is a special award which celebrates the work of an outstanding individual who has shown ongoing commitment to improving life opportunities for disabled people. It is awarded by Business Disability Forum rather than being open for entries. Our winner is Tony Cates for his long service as Senior Disability Champion at KPMG. Tony is a true role model as a senior leader who talks openly about his disability. He was Senior Disability Champion at KPMG for many years, using his influence to increase understanding of disability within the organisation and beyond. He is also a great nurturer and developer of his team, recognising the need to bring colleagues on the journey with him. With Tony retiring from KPMG this year, we wanted to thank him for committing so much of his working life to achieving change for disabled people. He epitomises what senior leadership is all about. Indeed, he is a past winner of the Disability Smart Leader Award, and I'm delighted that we are able to mark his achievements through this Disability Smart Award. But before I invite Tony to join me on the virtual stage, don't just take it from me. Here's what his colleagues had to say.
Tony, congratulations on receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. It's so well deserved. And whilst I know you don't like taking the limelight, and you will probably say it was just the right thing to do, it's just recognition for your commitment, leadership, and sponsorship of both disability and mental health at KPMG over the last decade. Your stewardship on both these agendas really has meant that KPMG have been leading from the front.
Tony, a huge congratulations for me on this very well-deserved award. We are super proud of you at KPMG. Thank you so much for your many years of support as partner sponsor of Workability and Be Mindful, for the thought leadership that you led on leading from the front, and the many groups that you sat on to represent the firm. We are so proud of all of the work that you did to lead on disability inclusion. And on a personal level, just thank you for all of your support, your guidance, your friendship and the humour. Well done.
I am delighted that Tony has been recognised for his significant contributions to disability and mental health over many years. Tony has been a senior business leader for decades, but despite his seniority, I have found him to be an incredibly down-to-earth, considerate and humble man who really cares about people and who leads from the front in seeking to make the world a better place for all. Such an amazing role model. Tony, congratulations on receiving this Lifetime Achievement Award.
The Disability Smart Awards Lifetime Achievement. Wow. Huge congratulations, Tony, on your well-deserved award. On behalf of everyone at KPMG, we are so proud and yet not surprised given the decades of dedication on your behalf. And you've championed change by driving inclusion for our colleagues, past, present and future. Thank you for that and congratulations once again.
I'd like to say a massive congratulations to Tony Cates, who's been given a Lifetime Achievement Award for being the champion of diversity and inclusion. Well done, Tony, on behalf of everybody at KPMG.
Congratulations to Tony. I hope Tony can join me on screen, where I can't actually physically present this award to you, Tony, but I can show you it and we will send it to you. So yeah, congratulations. Surprise.
Thank you so much. Wow, what can I say? I've retired from KPMG and then all those nice words. I wish they said all those words when I was in the firm. It'd have been fantastic.
Well, at least you've heard them now. You know, I'm a big fan of the Pixies, and there's one Pixies song that starts. This song is about a superhero named Tony. It's called Tony's Theme, and I kept thinking that as I was watching that.
Oh dear, I have to say, I'm a bit emotional actually, and it's a real cliche, but I've really sort of feel humbled having heard all those people earlier. There's been some fantastic people who have done brilliant work. If there's anything I've ever done, it's always been part of a team. I always think if you achieve anything, you achieve it best as part of a team. And the KPMG have always been supported me, be behind what I do. And you've seen Mark Russell a couple of times today, so you know he's the power behind the throne, and he's always sort of making sure I do the right thing. But it's thank you so much. I think BDF have been a great part of the story along the way, always helping us set the bar and try and increase that every year, which is absolutely brilliant. And it's been brilliant to see Disability Confident featuring as well, because I've really enjoyed being part of that group. I think that's made an awful lot of positive change. So Thank you so much, Diane. It's great to see you. I wasn't quite expecting to see you like this, but it's really good to see you and Bella.
Well, I'm glad we managed to surprise you, Tony. We will find a way to get this. Can you? It has got your name on it. If you can see that,
so much.
Get that to you. And despite the fact that you've retired, please don't be a stranger. Please keep in touch, and we'd love to keep the disability inclusion journey going with you.
Absolutely, I'm absolutely committed to doing that. And some sort of news from me is I've agreed to chair a mental health charity, the Counselling Foundation. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye, and you'll
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, congratulations on that. I can't think of a better person to do it. So thank you so much, Tony, for joining us, and congratulations so again. Thanks, you.
Thanks, Diane. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Congratulations to Tony there, and very well deserved. And as you said, Diane, a previous winner of our Disability Smart Leader Award. And that is, in fact, the next and final award that we have today, the Disability Smart Leader Award. So who is it who is going to win that award this time? Well, I'm delighted to be able to announce the finalists, who are Deborah Rue at Rue Global, Ian Stewart at HSBC, Matthew Wood at Millwood Servicing, and Serge Offers at ING. And the winner is Ian Stewart at HSBC. I think we're delighted to welcome Ian to the virtual stage. Welcome, Ian, and congratulations.
And here's your award.
Well, Diane, I'm a bit like Tony. I'm humbled, to say the least, to accept the award, and really quite overcome, but delighted. If I could say a few words, then that'd be okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, look. First of all, I'd just like to congratulate all the other winners this afternoon, and especially Tony, who has clearly been a stalwart for KPMG and leading from the front. So well done for everything you've done there, Tony, and I wish you all the very best in your retirement. As I said, I am honoured and I am humbled because I've got a very good team around me who help me so much. And I know it's an overused statement to say that we're on a journey, but in HSBC UK we are definitely on a journey, and I'd be honest to say that we're at the foothills of that journey. But I think we have made progress over the last 2 years, and some things have worked which have been really helpful to us. But we've got so much more to offer in this space, and I hope we do keep progressing. The one thing I did want to say to everyone today is that this is an area where I think we should share more. And if there's anything we're doing at HSBC and people are thinking, gosh, I'd like to understand that better, please get in touch. We will share anything that we're doing, any information we've got, because I think it's so important that we take a much wider view of disability. And I mean that sincerely. If we can help you in any way, we'll be delighted to do so. If I could just say 2 thank yous whilst I'm here. I'm the global partner for ability in HSBC, but I've got a global co-partner in Ewan Stevenson, who's the group CFO. Ewan is deaf down the left-hand side. He's an excellent partner. We work really closely. So, you know, I must give Ewan a big shout out for all the help and support he gives me and the wider business. And then, if I could, I'd just like to dedicate this award to all my colleagues who are involved in our employee resource groups. We've got 17 employee resource groups in HSBC, and we've got 18,000 members. So it's a hugely popular part of our business. These are people who just get on with their work every single day, but they help other important groups. And through the Ability Network, have helped me no end over the last few years. So I will dedicate this award to all our ERG members who just do an incredible job and make me so humble every single day. And thank you so much to BDF, who I think have been incredibly supportive to us to get ourselves into a much better place. And we couldn't have done it without you, Diane, and all your team. So thank you for that as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ian. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you, and long may it continue. I think we're seeing you for our CEO roundtable, which you're co-hosting with me on Tuesday. So doesn't time fly? But it's such a well-deserved award, and we're so delighted to be able to present it to you. You are a great exemplar of a senior leader. So huge congratulations, and thank you for being such a great advocate, friend and partner to BDF and within HSBC, of course.
Oh, you're very generous there.
Thank you. Well, that seems to be all the awards, but it isn't it. That is not it. That is the end of the awards themselves. And congratulations again to all our winners. And I must make sure I do send these 2 awards because they're rather nice. I think I might hang on to them. But we have actually saved a real treat for you until last. And so I'm delighted to introduce our guest speaker, LaMondre Pough, CEO of Billion Strong, to share his thoughts with us. So LaMondre, the stage is yours.
Thank you so very much. And it is an absolute honor for me to be with you for this award. It's time that we really take a moment to pause and look back at the things that we've done, particularly over these past 2 years, with all of the change that's going on in the world and with all of the uncertainty that has been present with us. It's important that we take this moment to just celebrate where we are right now, what we've learned, what we've seen, and how we've evolved, because that's what this is about. It is about the evolution. It is about the progress that has been made, particularly in uncertain times. And so I'm honored to be a part of this awards ceremony. So I want to thank the Business Disability Forum for having these awards. And I also want to thank the sponsor of these awards, Microlink, for their commitment into progressing the cause of people with disabilities. Now, you can tell from the list of winners and nominees that this is a pretty impressive group. And they've done some very, very innovative things. And you've done some very innovative things. And it's important that we kind of reflect on that. But more importantly than just winning awards, and more importantly than just being recognized, it is important that it helps us to see that we are not alone, that there are other people also working towards the same end, the same goals of including people with disabilities and creating environments where society can begin to then recognize the contributions, begin to then recognize the value that people with disabilities really bring to the table. And as we look at the list of nominees and winners, we recognize that these are ordinary, everyday people who are doing extraordinary things. And we recognize that it's a collective, it's a group of us doing extraordinary things to make things better. And that deserves to be celebrated. That deserves to be applauded. That deserves to just say, whew, that's some hard work. Let's take a break and breathe. Let's take a moment and just chill for a second and clap. Let's take a moment and celebrate. And as soon as we celebrate, we also need to realize that we've got more work to do. We've got more things that we have to consider in terms of how do we continue to move forward. The enemy of progress is complacency. particularly when we have accomplished some things, particularly when we have made headway, and we have made some significant headway, even in the face of adversity. We have progressed, but we have to remain vigilant about continuing that progress. Because a lot of times what happens is that we make some changes, we do things, we have some success, we achieve some things, and that's great. That's great, and we should celebrate it. We should cheer all day long for that. But what happens is we then begin to think we've got it right. We've got it right in a world that's ever changing. And because we have it right, we think that we can just stay right here and just ride on what we've gotten right. The issue with that is that when we think we've got it right, when we think that we're satisfied with that, the world changes. And as a young boy growing up in Columbia, South Carolina in the US, my grandmother, who was very rural in a sense, she was very down home, very laid back, very down to earth. But when I was a kid, I remember her saying to me that once you become completely satisfied, it is then time to die. Now, of course, that was kind of heavy for a 9-year-old to hear that. I didn't know exactly what it meant then, but then she explained, she said, no, it is not time for you to die, boy. What I'm saying is, if you get to a place where there is nothing more that you can learn, when there is nothing more for you to work on, when there is nothing more for you to reach for, then it's time for you to leave. It's time for you to do something else. It's time for you to go away, because there is no more good that you can gain, and there is no more good that you can give. So she was talking really about fighting complacency, and that if I ever became complacent, that I needed to go away. I needed to do something different. And so what I want to share with you is I want to share with you a few things that will help us continue to move forward, that will help us honor the work that we've done and begin to reach forward and move forward and elevate the concepts of why we do things. So the first thing that I want to leave you with is to honestly and often assess where you are. The evaluation process is so important, particularly when we have made significant gains, when we have made significant contributions, because there may be a direction that we're moving in, and it's great, we're achieving success. However, we need to constantly evaluate where we are, and not necessarily from the lens of criticism, but from the lens of how effective are we being, and are there opportunities that we're missing to move forward? Have we created silos because of how we have viewed this process, the outcomes, or the impact? And is that limiting us from moving forward? Is that creating a bottleneck to progress? And many times those things can kind of creep up in very small ways. But through the analysis process, through the assessment process, we're able to see those small changes. We're able to see those potential bottlenecks and perhaps course correct. And we can then also discover what's really working, what's really making a difference. Where is this progress and impact coming from? And we can continue to do those things. The next piece of it is to keep our biases in check. And what do I mean by that? I'm not necessarily talking about the overt things, the things that are obvious, the things that, oh, yeah, that's a problem. No, I'm talking about so often in our efforts to create inclusive environments, we can sometimes accidentally, incidentally, create a sense of exclusion, create environments where we're actually excluding people, because we're trying so hard to get people to see things our way or we're trying so hard to continue to progress in a direction that maybe the organization needs to look at again and figure out a new path. So always keep our biases in check and make certain that we're not creating silos or clubs of exclusivity because we're trying so hard to be inclusive. The next thing, and this is something that I heard earlier also, and it's been a theme that's been repeated, that is share our stories and our experiences loudly. I'm going to say that again. Share our stories and our experiences loudly, the victories as well as the challenges, because the victories definitely bring value. But sharing our challenges could also share a whole nother level of value. And it could also give you insight on new approaches to things. So be willing to share our victories and challenges. And it also gives us a sense that we're not alone. It also gives us the idea, the concept, the feeling that there are others pushing forward with us, because it's so easy to feel isolated, particularly when you are the person, or it's your group, or it's your division that's doing that work. So share your stories, your experiences, your victories, and your challenges. Then the other piece of it is find and become the champion. When I was a child, we used to play kickball out in front of my house. And kickball is a game that's very much like baseball, if you're not familiar. There are 4 bases arranged in a diamond pattern. And there would be a person who was the roller. That person was basically the pitcher. They would roll the ball, the kid would kick it, and then when they kicked the ball, they would run around to the bases and try to get to home base before the ball made it back to home base. And if they did that, they would get a point. Well, we used to play that game out in front of my house. Now, I'm a person with a disability. I have a lived experience with spinal muscular atrophy, so I can't run. But I could kick at that time in my life. And when we would play the game, I would go up to play, and I had a friend, Dexter Ashford. Dexter said, I'm going to kick for Bubba. And let me tell you, my nickname is Bubba. Might not look like it, but my nickname is Bubba. Dexter would kick for me. I mean, Dexter would run for me. And so I would kick the ball and Dexter would take off running. Now, here's what was cool. Dexter was fast. Dexter was really fast. And so usually I came out on top. Our team came out on top because we were able to tap into the talents, the gifts, and the strengths that we all possessed. And what I realized is that Dexter was my champion. Dexter used his abilities, he used his influence, he used what he had to make the team better. And that's what we need to do. We need to find the champions, people who might not necessarily be impacted by that particular issue, but they may have influence, they may have some insights, they may have access in areas that we don't necessarily have, but they understand the issues, they understand the situations surrounding your particular group or your particular identity, and they can use their influence in their areas to give you access. They can use their influence to perhaps change the mind of others that are not a part of the group. But then the other part of that is to become the champion. Become the champions in areas that you might not necessarily be affected by or impacted by, but you have some influence, you have some insights that could give that particular group or person access to an area that they would not normally have access to. That's what Dexter did for me. And that's what we have to do for other people. The other thing is that we have to show up. We have to show up in places that were not expected. I often think about it like this. We work in the inclusion spectrum. We work on including people with disabilities in all that we do. However, we have to continue to show up in areas that might not even be thinking about disability or even focused on disability, not necessarily to be the bullhorn for people with disabilities, but to have that perspective represented. Without the agenda is the only thing that I'm going to talk about are disability issues. But in order for that perspective to even be represented, we have to be in the room. And there have been countless times that I have been working in situations where disability was not necessarily a part of the focus or the agenda, but because I was there and with the experience, insights, and backgrounds that I brought new perspectives to the table. And people saw value in that. Even though the word disability never may have come out of my mouth in that setting, the fact that my presence was there means that we were at the table. So we have to show up outside of what is parochial to us. And then we have to allow space for evolution. This work is fluid. It's forever changing. There are nuances that pop up every day that may change the trajectory of what we're doing at that time. So what I'm saying here is that we must allow space for growth and evolution, and we have to look out for swelling. Because here's the thing. Swelling looks a lot like growth from the outside, but on the inside, it could be infected. It could be festering. So nourish growth and treat swelling. Allow space for evolution. So in all of this, what I'm really saying is be smart, be brave, and be kind. Be smart in terms of looking for innovative ways to move forward. And there's a quote that says that innovation is the unrelenting drive to break the status quo and develop anew where few dared to go. Let's be innovative, be smart. The second thing is be brave. This work requires bravery. This work requires us being able to present new perspectives and even some perspectives that might not even be possible. But bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is moving forward in spite of the fears. There's a quote that says, "Dare to be brave today and trust that when you extend your wings, that you will fly." We're looking at flying here. Be brave. Be willing to stand up in the face of, that's not what we do around here, but we need to change what we do, and be willing to spread your wings and fly. And finally, be kind. So often in this work, we can become very calloused and we can become very hard on others and even ourselves. But I believe that kindness is the way to move forward. I believe that kindness heals many wounds, and often kindness actually heals the soul of the person extending that kindness. So be kind to yourself and be kind to others. You see, this is the work of really elevating the community of people with disabilities. And the way that we do this is, first of all, by elevating the conversations that we're having around this topic. And believe me, this is so powerful. These awards are so powerful because that's what's happening. It's an elevated conversation. But when we elevate our conversations, we elevate our thoughts. And when we elevate our thoughts, we elevate our actions. And when we elevate our actions, we expand the breadth of possibility that's out there. And that's how we begin to realize progressive change. That's how we begin to move from regulation to real life issues. This is how we change culture. This is how we embed this into who we are. Again, I thank you for the work that you've done to elevate the global community of people with disabilities. But I want you to understand something. It's not just about elevating people with disabilities. This is about elevating the whole of humanity. This is really the work of changing the world. And you have done and are doing your part in changing the world. And for that, you deserve to be celebrated. For that, you deserve the standing ovation and the round of applause. But with that comes the responsibility of not being complacent, comes the responsibility of building the community, comes the responsibility of elevating the whole of humanity, and you are doing your part. I challenge you to continue to do so and embrace the whole of who we are. I am LaMondre, CEO of Billion Strong, and I want to thank you for all that you've done and all that you will continue to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, LaMondre. It is always a pleasure to hear you speak and to speak with you. And I think amongst the many, many takeaways and words of wisdom there, I think is that we can all make a difference. And that if you are watching this or listening to this, wherever you are, you can make a difference. And if we all work together, that's when we achieve real, lasting and meaningful change. I also loved your focus on teamwork. I'm a big fan of playing to people's strengths. I have to say, when I was at school, we played rounders, which is probably a little bit like softball. I was appalling at rounders. I was appalling at every single element of it. So what I really needed was to subcontract, I think, to Bubba and Dexter to do that for me. So I wish I had known, LaMondre, because it was a source of great shame and embarrassment. And I also loved, I loved everything that you said, but just your sort of closing points about, I'm going to paraphrase, which is cheeky, I know, but you know, host's kind of prerogative. Be innovative, be brave, be kind, and above all, be disability smart. How's that?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you so much for joining us. You are always such a wonderful speaker and friend. And I hope that we will see you at one of our events on an online platform. Who knows, one day even in real life.
Absolutely. That's what I'm looking forward to most.
That would be amazing. That would be really, really amazing.
Thank you, LaMondre.
Thank you.
So quite amazingly, that brings us pretty much to the end of our event. Bella, any kind of final reflections from you as co-host? And thank you so much. You have done an amazing job. I know we can't do an actual round of applause, but I think a virtual round of applause for Bella for stepping in at literally the last minute. So my virtual round of applause. Thank you, thank you. Any kind of highlights for you?
Thank you, Diane, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege to be here and to listen to all the people who've won. And as LaMondre said, you know, it really struck home. You're changing the world, and that's what I took away. That's what people in their sort of offices, in their homes in the past 2 years have been sort of quietly and sometimes working completely alone, are changing the world and making it a better place. And that's what I think I've taken away from all our winners and all the people who entered in the finalists. And it's been a privilege to read all the submissions, and I did read them all.
Yes, I know you did. I know you did. And it has been an absolute joy and a privilege to be able to host these awards, albeit online. So now's the point, if we were in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, that we'd all be going and having some well-deserved refreshments. But actually, even online, it's been amazing to celebrate, amazing to hear what people have done, and to see people receive their awards. So that's been fantastic. So that just leaves me to say a few final but heartfelt thank yous. So firstly, a huge thank you once again to Microlink. for your support in making this event possible. We really, really appreciate it, and particular thanks, of course, to Nasser Siabi for joining us to present some awards, and Nasser for your ongoing friendship and support. Thank you to all our amazing award winners, and also everyone who entered. It was an incredibly high standard, so if you didn't make it this year, don't be put off. There will be other opportunities, so kind of watch this space. Huge thank you to our guest speakers, LaMondre, Pough and Jules Lockett. I hope Jules would have approved of the analogy, LaMondre, of nourish growth, treat swelling and allow space for evolution. That sounds like something the ambulance service would probably endorse, but it's been great to have your perspectives and thoughts today. Thank you so much to the Minister for joining us in her very busy schedule to present the Disability Confident Awards, and a big thank you to Amanda Wadsworth and Julianne Williams in the Disability Confident team for working with us on those awards. It's been great to work with you. Massive thanks to the BDF team who were hard at work behind the scenes making this all happen, particularly our event manager, Adam Casey, Bella yet again, who has been involved behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, you name it, and also our wonderful marketing and design teams, so particularly Eben, Anthony and Chris. Thanks too to our brilliant captioners and signers for making this event truly accessible. And last but not least, thank you to everyone who has come today and listened and participated. I really hope you've enjoyed it. It's been great to be able to celebrate. I hope you have found some nuggets and ideas that you can take away to put into practice in your own organisation. And I very much look forward to seeing you at our next event. I know I keep saying this, but maybe one day, even in person, perhaps one day it will come true. But meanwhile, please stay well, please stay safe, please stay as healthy as you can. And I wish you a very happy festive season, and I look forward to seeing you in 2022, if not before. Thank you all.